this is a panel I threw together. This is going to be a little slideshow. My job decided it's a great idea to have me work nothing but split and double shifts. So this one I didn't get to put as much work into my Silent Hill as I did on my Silent Hill panel, because that's before they started slamming me. The LDR of my job's a mess, hogged up all my time, so I did what I could. Hopefully it's an enjoyable. This is
So are you gonna like get a doll out? You can point on the doll where he touched you last.
Yes. I'm calling. I would also need Chris Hansen's phone number as well. His contact information, if you will. Yeah, we're just going to be going through a couple of little shows I found that I've enjoyed. Some of y'all probably do too. It's basically stuff that Japan has decided, hey, let's take this and turn it into a cute little girl. Because that just seems to be how things work over there, and it's a big deal. It's been going for longer than a lot of people think. I know they've been doing it since like the 60s, 70s, because a lot of things with Japan is anthropomorphizing things like electric companies and stuff, makes the company more recognizable, has a little more human touch to them. It just helps with the interactions and stuff. It really helps their marketability too. So we're gonna go start with our first thing. This is Hyperdimension Neptunia. It's a video game franchise that was created by Idea Factory, Comple Heart, and for about 4 or 5 games, NIS. And it features 4 guys that are personifications of the 4 big gaming companies and battle themselves, as well as fighting game piracy. So we're going to get into video games. Next slide. This is NepNep. If y'all were at the Net panel yesterday, you know that she is incredibly lazy and loves pudding. She is based off of Sega, and specifically the Sega 32X cancel console, the same name. This is Noir. She is based off of the PS3 and Sony. She is hardworking and textbook tsundere. She's like the only one that actually works out of all the characters. Blonde doesn't count because all she does is write books. And if I'm going too fast, let me know. Kind of had some sugary snacks. This is Blonde. She's based off the Nintendo and the Wii. She's usually quiet, but whenever you get on her nerves, she's a ticking time bomb. She'll explode and implode and splatter you. She really loves her sisters, but she also hates them because they always draw on her books. Because she likes to write these really crappy, what do they say in the game, 5th grade level fan fictions. And she would also make some yaoi books here and there that are of questionable quality content. This is Bert. Bigger is better because besides that controller. She's based off of Microsoft and the Xbox 360. She is an avid gamer. She does her job, but she also likes to divert public funding to her online gaming habits. I mean, that's proper use. I do it for Steam. Okay. And this is R4 based off of the aptly named R4 flashcard. There are other characters that are in the game that are based off of, like, there's Copy Swap. That was based off of the, copy paste is his name, but it's based off of Copy Swap, where they'd have like a machine, you put the game in and copy it. But she is the old head, everybody doesn't get her name right. That's the running gag of the game and show. Let's call her Artsy Fodger R4D2. Just insults in general. She's very bad at being a villain, as in she fails at her job ethically. And so we have Sega Hard Girls. This also crossed over with Neptunia. But it is like a little short series made by, I believe Sega funded the anime. I know they funded the game, part of the game too. But it's about these girls. They're based off of the main old school Sega consoles. You have Mega Drive / Genesis, you have Dreamcast, and you have Saturn. And they go through a bunch of all the older games through Sega's library, and they're just trying to teach themselves to become good consoles and then get released into the world.
Yeah, like graduates.
Yes. I think it was called Sega Academy.
Yeah.
Right, so here's Mega Drive. She is very book smart, she's very nerd. But in the game, she's got some pretty good stats on her, and she's a good party member. I always like keeping her in mind. Okay, and then we have Sega Saturn. Grace, you would know about this one. He's just looking over there like, Miko, why did you call me out?
No, like, we covered this panel on Friday.
I know. Go to play it's deja vu. And then we have Dreamcast. She's the last consoles in games. She's also the last. All these characters, they feud with the Neptunia characters in the game over who should be the boss of each time period. The games go into a lot more of their personalities than the anime, because the anime is just like little short gags and stuff. Like they have a gag where they're in Virtual Fighter, and she gets like her only move. They can only do one move. Hers is just doing a head dive. And that's how they beat everyone in that one. Update. This is my friend's here's favorite area of expertise.
Thanks to that guy over here.
Yes, I drew him a waifu pillow that he should have brought with him for this of L85. Yeah, this anime focuses on small arms as they attend Seisho academies and learn how to be proper weapons and useful for wartime use, while sometimes dealing with a group of Kalashnikov girls and Sako causing trouble. So here we have Funko-chan, she's the main character. How many of y'all seen Update?
Didn't think so.
One.
I tried to watch one episode.
So yeah, I like how this anime starts. She's late for school, and then she accidentally bumps into her teacher. But because the FNC has a skeleton stock, how the stocks work on the rifles is how their underwear is.
Yeah, what type of underwear they have.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, it's Thong Girl. But Funko is like really bright, cheerful, always wanting to help her buddies and help them with. Well, they have like little war games in there, and they just start popping bullets at each other. Like there's one of my favorite pictures from the show is like where they're all sitting in school having their own firearms out, and there's somebody's screen cap to put. Meanwhile, at schools in the U.S.
Oh.
This is his waifu, the L85A1, / SA80. Your waifu jams.
Yeah, she's like the comic relief and butt end of the joke because the L81 or the L85A1 was known for being terribly unreliable. Like, the firing pin would always break and stuff. So
Mag would drop out, plastic furniture would pop off and break.
So like throughout the anime, she always goes to like the hospital. Like
Also, she also runs around carrying an umbrella because the plastic furniture in real life would like really like get this really nasty tint to it after being out in the sun for so long. Here we have M16, which real cute. She is like the diva of the school, Miss Little Popular. And like there's an episode where she's just doing a photo shoot and just really sucking up all the attention. She really likes attention, being in everyone's face. Of course, it's because she's an American rifle. It's one of the most widely used ones besides the Kalashnikovs. And here's the other main girl, Sig 550 Commando, Sig-chan. She's kind of the more book smartest one, more mature one out of all the girls. Oftentimes have to take charge for whenever M16 gets a little too antsy. I don't want to use the R word, but that's what describes her. Questionable advances gun. That's what we'll call her. She really, really loves FNC. I guess you kind of could say she's have a yandere type interest in her, but like she doesn't go like too crazy after Galil becomes their friends. But yeah, Sako is kind of this. She starts off as like the main rival until the Kalashnikov girls show up. And this is another one of everybody that goes on K and knows commando pages. This is everyone's favorite of the Ipate fan, Galil AR. She's a cheerful little puppy out, I think is the best way to. She's always like popping up, wanting to make friends with everyone. She's also Sako's best friend. So she also goes into, her and Sako like to grope people. Mostly elves.
Perfect waifu for you.
This is my favorite, AK-74. Now, the best thing about all the Kalashnikov girls is they're cat girls.
Yes.
And that's like, I like how they differentiate all of the AK type rifles because like some guns, like the AUG, like all these girls had like some sort of gun design to them, even though it's not really apparent. Like the AUG, it has an interchangeable barrel. Whenever she wants to use her short barrel, she'll just pull a wig off her head, and it has short hair underneath it. And like when they have, I think she has glasses on for like the sight on the rifle. But yeah, this one, she just wants to prove that Kalashnikovs are better than NATO weapons, which would be what the US, Canada, stuff like that uses. Hand-type collection. I'm sure this one is familiar with at least some of y'all.
Or at least no Shimakaze.
Shimakaze, yeah, there's some Shimakazes running around. But yeah, it's based off of a World War II based browser game, where they basically take ships from past wars and then they go and fight, ironically, incarnations of sunken ships called abyssals. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of story to go off of since they just leave it really just open. It's like, here, we'll just put a bunch of character archetypes and then we'll see what sticks. Though, the anime is kind of but the game's okay, but it gets a little Stockholm Syndrome-ish.
The merchandise attack in this country, though.
Yeah.
You cannot go to any dealer booth without seeing hundreds of those things.
That's the main, I think the main success for Capcom is the waifu marketability, because they do all the archetypes and stuff. Like they say, if you're into mommy GFs, you have Hosho, which is an aircraft carrier. Or if you're into lolis, they got Shimakaze and Yukikaze. All the destroyers are lolis. Yeah, if we had our friend Brandon here, he would not shut up about them.
You gotta run this panel so at another con.
Yeah,
make him cover.
Okay, so let's look at some examples. We have Akagi. She is a glutton and loves cramming her face with food because in-game and in real life, aircraft carriers consume a buttload of your resources. She's also seen as like the senpai part in the anime because the main character, Fubuki, she's a destroyer, really looks up to her. She looks up to another character named Kongo, which is based off a fast battleship class name ship. But Kongo's kind of a little spurt lord and so Fubuki had her image broken out, so she started looking up to Akagi, because Akagi's just like, at first glance, she's this graceful woman, archer, because that's what the aircraft carriers are in this game. They fire their aircraft via bows. And of course, she's also that image gets broken because she's just seeing like she's at Golden Corral and Sonny's cramming food in her face. And here we have Yamato. Yamato's kind of shy, reserved, stereotypical Nadeshiko archetype girl. But that's also part because the Yamato was not really utilized much in war. Like, they waited until like the last possible year of the war to actually use Yamato in her sister ship, Musashi. And she only was in 2 engagements, and then the second one was Operation Tengo, in which she was pretty much sent on a suicide mission. But in game, she does not like being called Hotel because the Yamato, to this day, is the world's largest battleship constructed and can house as much personnel as, say, a modern aircraft carrier a la USS Ronald Reagan, which is, I believe, near 200,000 people. They're floating cities. Here's my favorite, my tomboy Tenru. She is based off of the light cruiser, and she really loves going out and getting close quarters with the enemies. Tenru being a really fast type ship, her main goal in the war was being launching torpedoes. And anybody who's played World of Warships knows that that's pretty much what they made her do. Light cruisers are running gun type of ships along with destroyers. They also do provide air support sometimes, depending on how modernized they are. Okay. And even American ships are not safe from this. The wee brave knows no boundaries. This is the USS Iowa, or as we call her in the game, Burger Boat. Iowa is freedom, wrestling, American pie. She's like the most American character in the game until they had Saratoga come in. But even Saratoga wasn't as much as Hulkamaniac would be the word I can think of. And here we have Bucky. She's the main character and the poster child. She is one of the 3 starter ships that you can get in the game. I picked her because she has the best torpedo stat. She was the one that had low. I was dumb. She kind of had low stats, so it was like the easiest to max out. But she's balanced. She's headstrong. She really wants to help her fleet out fighting the abyssals. But in the anime, she's not really best. She's clumsy, klutzy. I remember when she first put on the gear on the anime, she just kept tripping over water, like skidding all over it. Alright, so here we have Strike Witches. And this is an alternate history one again, focused again on World War II. The world's facing an invasion from aliens called the Neuroid. To repel the invaders, the mix of magic and tech is used, using light aircraft armor powered by magic. Girls known as witches use their abilities to push out the invaders. Jet legs. Okay, so our first character is Yoshika Miyafuji. She's based off the A6M Mitsubishi Zero. She is also pretty much like Fubuki. They're kind of, a lot of these military characters are copy paste with their archetypes. So, like Yoshika, she just wants to help. She's also a very good medic. Like she's always been usually adept at healing people with her magic, which is what leads her to getting recruited to the 501st Joint Fighter. Okay, we have Lynette Bishop next. This is her wingman. And she's based off of the Supermarine Spitfire. I can't remember if it's Mark V or Mark VI. There was a bunch made during the war. She is another shy girl and opens up to Miyafuji because she just latches onto him like, oh wow, you joined here too? Here, I need a friend. But she is an excellent marksman and carries an anti-material rifle. And then we have the other wingman, Perrine Klosterman. She's based off of the French Arsenal VG-33. Perrine is snooty. I guess this is a play on the stereotype of what French people are. I'm pretty sure that's not true. But she's just like, how dare you come into my joint air wing? And she really has the hots for the leader, which is Mio Sakamoto. She's like, notice me, senpai, notice me. Always brown-nosing and sucking up to her because she's like, that's her idol. So anybody that is these things comes in between her and her senpai, she's just like, ugh, what are you doing here? Here we have Kimono Friends. Japari Park is a zoo where different animals and cryptids and some extinct animals live together as anthro girls after coming into contact with Sandstar from a volcano. However, a new friend who doesn't know what animal they are and Circle comes in and Circle helps her through the park to find out who she is, aptly named Kaban-chan, aka Bag. But Kaban's a human, so we're going to go be looking at some of the characters in here. And we have Serval. Serval's infamous for kind of being stupid. She means like she wants to help Kaban through Japari Park to get to the library where she'll find out what animal she is. Well, Serval's dumb as a brick but thinks she can do anything. She's super perky. He's like, yes, you can do it. She's super encouraging. She's just adorable. Just look at that picture. She tries to climb and keeps falling, but she doesn't give up. And of course, she's based off of the Serval Savannah Cat. Alright. Shoebill! Best girl. Shoebill is one of the secondary characters that are in it, but because of her popularity, I felt the need to put her in there. She's, of course, built based off of the Shoebill Stork, and like the Shoebill Stork, she's just extremely quiet and just like deadpan stare at you. It looks so menacing, and then when you hear her talk, it's just like this adorable little moe voice. But in the anime, really outside of like suggesting that Kaban is a human, she also helps Lion in a little feud war between Lion and Moose. They like have this little game where they like have little beach balls on their heads, and they take these little kendo sticks, and the goal is to try to pop the beach ball on their head. So she takes part in that. Okay, next we have, speaking of, her boss, Lion. Lion is the leader of a group faction at War with Moose, and she on paper is like, yeah, I'm the boss, I'm the king of the jungle. But then she doesn't do anything on the front lines. Instead, she's sitting there reading manga, playing with a little ball, laying around, scratching her butt. She literally does that in the anime. She's literally scratching her butt. She's incredibly lazy. And we have Penguin Producing Project. I'm going to try to remember all of what they are. I believe we have Emperor Penguin, Sandhopper Penguin, Humboldt Penguin, and I can't remember what the other one was. I think I did say Emperor. But they are an idol group, and some of you all might be familiar with this one right here. Good old Hululu. Yeah, they are a little idol group, and they have a couple episodes focusing on them. So speaking of great Hulu. Rest in peace for my boy Grapecoon, the man, the myth, the legend. I want to talk about my boy. Boy, put that back on our boy. This is who I aspire to be in life. Let me tell you the legend of Grapecoon. Grapecoon was in the zoo. His mate left him for someone else. And then the Kimono Friends exhibition came out. They did a little crossover to promote the zoo. And then they started putting standees of all the animals in there. And they put Hulu there. And Grapecoon just became infatuated with it. He would just just start standing around there looking at her. And then when other penguins would come around, he would just go, ah, trying to get them to go away from his waifu. And he stayed by her over a year? It was like over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, I think it was like a year and a half.
Yeah, and he just kept every day, he would just keep going up and standing by Hulu.
Yeah, did they have to put him in a cage so he'd actually
Yes, they had to put him in a cage.
You should have put that picture where he's just like, you can't keep me away.
Yes. But there was also a typhoon that came through around when they had this going on, so they boxed Hulu up and actually brought it back, even though the event ended. So they kept letting him keep his waifu. And our poor boy, I believe it was late last year, that he started getting on in age, and our little buddy passed by Hulu. He's in Japari Park now with his waifu. Bless his soul. I'm sorry, I just really...
It's a touching story.
It's a really touching story. I find it incredibly cute, and Grapecoon is my boy.
Yeah.
Okay, changing gears here, we're going to go to Chavez. Yes, this is also an anthropomorphized thing because it's computers this time. In the near future, computers have risen in tech to the point where most are built in human form as perscoms, play on personal computers. The anime focuses on a crime school student Hideki and him finding a broken persicom that can only say G. Over time, the anime explores and questions human and computer relationships. I think the picture for her is perfect. Screen deaf. Because when he finds her, she's like, janky. But this is Chi. Oh god, the switch. How do I turn it on? Black bar.
Do I really have to?
But yeah, Chi is a broken persicom. She really fears about being thrown out when Hideki finds her because, of course, she was tossed out in the garbage. She's like, but there's a lot more to her than it let on. I'm sure the anime's been out for a while. I just haven't read my manga in a while like I should have for this. Rude, yes. I'm sorry. Don't worry, I know all about the next character. Screw her, she is annoying.
Yes.
He's trying to do the wakey stretches more like flushy damn crapper. She is so annoying, but she's supposed to be a laptop / smartphone. And she's the most annoying thing ever. Though there was one episode that I liked that did involve just her and Chi, and that's when they went to go buy pizza. Because that was just hilarious. Like she was just like they're walking down the street and she's just blowing on this whistle. Like, and then when she goes to try to cross, like, danger, danger, don't cross that way, panties this way. And then she just puts some on her hand and she goes, panties, panties. Okay, next one, a key cam. Now, I don't know much about this one. I just had a dude that told me he would kill me if I didn't put this in because it's one of his favorite shows. But yeah, even soda's not safe. Yeah, they'll weebify soda water too. And not just that, they'll do it to Gatorade, as you're about to be seeing in a sec. But yeah, it's made by the guy that made Shuffle, and it's just about these girls like, okay, I'm made from a steel can, you're made from an aluminum can. It's like, on Billy Madison, shampoo is better, no conditioner. Well, it's not with soda. And they just go, spurt lord fights. And it's all just for some stupid little tournament thing. So it's like a shonen waifu anime. Yeah, that's it. Melon. I don't know much about the show. Like I said, I was just threatened with my life if I didn't put this in there. I just know she's the main girl and that she's based off of soda. And then her rival. What kind of name is Yell? Why would you do this? Yeah, Gatorade Frost.
Hey, I love
Product placement.
I mean, it's empty. I was like, that's empty, but yeah.
Product placement. Make sure you properly hydrate, work out, eat your Wheaties. Frame Arms girls. Oh, I love this. I love these model kits. I'm kind of upset that someone bought them all out before I actually was able to get the ones I wanted. But this is based off of a model kit line, and it eventually had its own anime because of high model kit sales. And they're about these little adventures that this girl, main character, has, and she has the 3 main girls: Gorai, Stylet, and thank you. I forgot it, and I know I got the name at the beginning. But they had all these girls. They had like little sensors and chips in them, and they just do little battles and just little odds and ends, slice of life stuff to get little emotional data on them. I don't really go into why they do it though, but it's pretty much a slice of life show. And here we have the Gorai, which is based off of the model kit of the same name. And I think out of all of the slides on here, this one really does the best besides Canonical, like show on how they anthropomorphize the character. This is the only one I have. The kits are pretty good, but a lot of the first one runs, unfortunately, have some loose parts on there. But a little, if you like put a little glue on stuff, not glue the part together, but like as like an extra layer to get extra friction, then they're pretty stable kits. Unless you're talking about the next one. There's another version of it that has like a bunch of the extra armor on there. So this is the base normal one, so this one's fun. That's a Stylet, and she's based off of the, of course, style of the same name. Next one, they don't really have a lot of characteristics to them. Because Gorai's the quiet one. Stylet, I can't remember if she's the Tsundere one once. It's been ages since I've watched the anime. Yeah, she does. I mean, Twin Tails. They have Base Lard. And
That's an unfortunate name.
that is very unfortunate.
How
Base Lard.
a name called Base Lard.
Okay, Base Lard, but she's skinny. Alright. I mean, nothing against bigger girls, but that name doesn't suit you. How about Hazel Strike or something?
It does look like it.
It does look like the Hazel Gundam. Hoseki no Kuni, please watch this show. It is really, really good.
the Lustrous?
Yes. Please watch Rock Waifus. I beg you.
It does look
It is a very beautifully animated show, and we do have the manga that's started running out here as well. But it is
Steven Universe, the anime.
There's Steven Universe done better, but that's just me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's in a world where jewels take the forms of humans. Phospholite is considered the weakest gem, but wants to do her part in war waged against the Lunarians, who want to harvest them for their value as jewelry. But instead of fighting, she's tasked with creating an encyclopedia, because she has a tensile strength of 3. You even look at her wrong, oops, fall apart. I guess Phospholite was, what's the old missile joke? Made in North Korea, fall apart.
Oh.
But yeah, this is Phospholite. She's a cutie. And she's really, really perky, really snarky, like cracking jokes on everyone. And she gets buddy with another character named Cinnabar, who gets obsessed with trying to find a job for her. So like all the rock waifus have jobs, specific jobs that they have. Like Red Barrel is the one that makes their uniforms. They have, let's see, Master Congo is their master. Zircon is in charge of fighting. Amethyst, fighting. Cinnabar's the one that does night patrol. All of them have routine. Brutal is the one I was thinking of. Brutal is the one that puts them all back together. And she's her #1 repeat customer, much to her annoyance. Yeah, but Phospholite is notorious for falling apart, getting in other people's way, trying to help them, and just overall being obnoxious. And here we have Diamond. This is the character that is kind of like the cutesy goody girl, and she's paired up with Bort, and they're also tasked with fighting Lunarians. She is one of the harder gems, and there's this awesome scene where she's like repeatedly striking the Lunarian. I believe it's the snail one, and she's just like repeatedly striking it, and then you just hear this giant cling sound, and that's the sound of her arm fracturing. But she doesn't let that stop her. She keeps striking it, and then the arm breaks off. Like, oh, okay. It just like picks the arm up and just starts beating him. Yeah, she is the Gundam Easy 8 of rock waifus. And here we have Cinnabar. She is kind of the moody character because she is forced to patrol at night because she has liquid mercury constantly surrounding her because that's the property of the Cinnabar mineral. And she kind of has a thing for Phosphorite because Phos tries to like be friends with her, but she's also very tsundere-ish about it. Like there'll be often times where she's like, Phos, you liar, or she's like, Phos, get out of here. And he gets really annoyed by it, but like over time you can see how Phos is growing on her. Like there's like an episode where she'll like use some mercury to make a little Phos figure. Thank you. That's all I got. I ended it with the best one. Out of all those shows, please watch that one the most. It is such...
So good.
I went in with low expectations and was just blown away.
Unless you want to put Greg Clune on one last time.
Yeah, press. We gotta salute our boy Greg.
Yeah. And this time Patrick can leave it on there for like a minute.
Yes, please.
Yep. Now blue slides now. Since it is up.
All right. Press F to pay respects. A true patriot. F. F.
Salute.
Huh?
It's like,
How much time do we have left?
no waiting.
We have.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did better on material I thought. We actually got enough. We're halfway through, so I'm going to be adding to this more.
But drive girls.
But drive girls.
I need my transforming car women.
Transforming car women.
We're thinking about adding like personified mutants.
Yeah, we're gonna try to. What I was wanting to do was
like Ebola.
like I was gonna put some internet memes and some like Biscuit Chan from KFC. She's a biscuit.
Yes.
And I was gonna do can you guys guess what character this is, and then give prizes away. But work and life got in the way. So, but yeah, I'll be definitely adding that in the future if this panel gets approved, wherever else I submit it to. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
You mentioned the contact collection, but there's also
Azure Lane.
Arpeggio Blue Steel.
Oh, Frigate Blue Steel. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that one because it's really overshadowed. But like, they don't really have the boat parts on it. They just like summon the boats and ride them. Though I do prefer the design for Congo on that one. She looks a lot more English inspired because Congo was built in Vickers, England. And Congo's, I prefer that version of Congo. I mean, I like the one from Contact Collection, but that Congo is more like how I think a reserved English lady should probably be instead of, wow, Teitaku! Being all fancy, just trying to be the stereotypical waifu bait character and slipping English in wherever she possibly can. So we have two options. We can chat for a bit, or we can put on an episode of Kimono Friends. Which would you like to do?
Well, I was gonna say I have like Kimono Friends, Contact Collection, Alpote, and Strike Witches. Also.
Yeah, we have choices if y'all want to view something.
Kimono Friends?
I was Kimono Friends.
Well,
Yeah.
did you probably work?
Looks like we're finally watching it. He's been trying.
That's a really good show. I'll watch it. Please come to Jakarta.
So I have not watched the Night of Lustrous yet, but when you mentioned that the Cinnabar was tsundere, I thought, well, yeah, she would have a mercurial temperament.
Yeah, of course.